No, good evening, Rahul. First of all, if I may politely correct Mr. Hassan, he is wrong factually. The two-nation theory that he's saying was propounded first by Mr. Savarkar is absolutely not correct. Before Savarkar, it was Jinnah. Before Jinnah, it was Sir Syed of the Aligarh Muslim University. And before Sir Syed, it was in fact Karl Marx, the first person to propound the two-nation theory in his 1853 book, The Eastern Question. So he must get his facts right. But let me come back to the topic we are discussing. Rahul, in all honesty, Owaisi must be thinking of telling Akhilesh, "Arey bhai, if you do my job, what will I do?" I think we're being too harsh on Akhilesh, Rahul. अरे भाई लड़का है, लड़कों से गलती हो जाती है. After all, his knowledge of history is trumped only by his knowledge of the seating arrangements in a fighter jet. Moreover, his nickname is Tipu, and anyone who knows an iota of history would never eulogize that Hindu-hating, genocidal mass murderer who even converted dead Hindus of Coorg. Now, why is Mr. Hassan so rattled? Is it because I have exposed his ignorance of history? साइंस नहीं पढ़ी, चलो हिस्ट्री तो पढ़ लेते, वो भी नहीं पढ़ पाए.
Not at all.
Can you please mute him out? Can you please fade him out like his career, fledgling career? I did not interrupt him. I think it is wrong for him to interrupt me.
His picture has vanished.
Okay. We're not going to continue. Hassan Saab, please let him speak. He didn't interrupt you. I'll have to lower your fader, sir. Please, he didn't interrupt you. You can rebut him after. Let him finish.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Rahul. And anyway, this is not the first time Akhilesh and his party have been caught appeasing the minorities, using the means they patronizingly think would be successful, or maybe by eulogizing Jinnah to garner votes. They know something we don't know. Remember, it was Jinnah who said, "I will either have a divided India or a destroyed India." I wonder which India does Akhilesh yearn for? Anyhow, Rahul, as you may have guessed, the real reason for these rattle remarks is that Akhilesh knows that people have started comparing the state of law and order under Yogi government to that under his government. That is the nub of the issue. Everything else is subsidiary. Let me explain. For example, in 2017, UP recorded 4,089 cases of robbery, and in 2009 it was 2,241. Cases of dacoity have been halved. Cases related to murder have decreased from 4,300 in 2017 to 3,800 in 2019. There is a reduction of 45% in rape cases. So every Yodi government has so far seized, demolished 1,100 crores worth of properties held by mafia. 10,021 criminals with bounties on their heads are in jail. 36,990 criminals have been arrested under the Gangster Act, while 523 accused have been put under NSA. So, all these data is being ignored and people are appeased. Now again, Mr. Hassan, what is it, भाई? आपने कहां से पढ़ा है? वो मुझे वो जगह का नाम बता दीजिए, मैं उसको 5 रुपए दे दूंगा, थोड़ी नॉलेज आ जाएगी. Please, don't have such bad manners. Did I interrupt you? This is the third time you are interrupting. इतने कहने के लिए क्या उतावले हैं? माफी मांगनी है, बाद में मांग लीजिएगा. So as I was just about to finish, if you compare this, Rahul, just 10 seconds, 622 incidents of goons brutally attacking policemen reported in the state under Akhilesh Yadav government. And who said this? It wasn't Yogi. It was Akhilesh government himself on the floor of the assembly. So लड़का घबरा रहा है, अभी इलेक्शन के लिए भी नहीं लड़ने वाला है. आप प्लीज माफ कर दीजिए राहुल.
Okay, Sabha Naqvi, who did Jinnah want to provide Muslims freedom from? And if Akhilesh is so right, why is Owaisi, who is the putative leader? Quick response, and then I want to bring in Mr. Bhatia. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, very, very quickly, just 2 points, Rahul. I wish all journalists were like you, objective and hardworking and not lazy, getting their opinion while sitting at home. Because wasn't it Times Now who investigated and found out that the people who were trolling and abusing Mohammad Shami, his wife, and Virat Kohli and his daughter were actually Pakistani bots? I saw this day before yesterday your investigation, and also the investigation of this morning where Shahzad also commented. So, this is a fallacy that is being used to play the victim card. Number 2, I applaud Ashutosh because he has asked the right question. I for one, condemn L.K. Advani and Jaswant Singh for proclaiming Jinnah as secular. Yes. He was anything but secular. He was the most communal, bigoted person you could think of after he switched. There was a flip. And he switched from being a so-called, Congress freedom fighter to a rank communalist who fought for, Pakistan. And he got it as well. Number 3, by that logic of Mr. Hassan, when he's saying that Jinnah was a freedom fighter and then later on he did bad, why does he also not call Mr. Savarkar a brave freedom fighter? Because he was. before he was incarcerated in Kalapani, he was a fearless freedom fighter, as acknowledged not only by Jawaharlal Nehru, but also by Mahatma Gandhi. So, Mr. Hassan, it is time for you to say that Savarkar was a brave freedom fighter.
Respond, Mr. Hassan. Respond.
Freedom fighter written any kind of apology to British government at that time.
Oh, I can name you many. I can name you many, Mr. Hassan. Maybe you should follow Mr. Owaisi's advice and read some history. Mr. Owaisi is going to obliterate your party because at least he comes out and speaks the honest truth.
आपको पता है कि बिस्मिल ने भी मर्सी पिटीशन लिखी थी? आपको पता है? They don't know anything, Rahul. There's no point.
Well, that's why Mr. Owaisi, a fellow co-traveler on the political road, who is empowering Muslims, is coming out and saying, read some history. Because these people have been deluding. They have been deluding, and I'll tell you, it will be a Bihar in Uttar Pradesh again. There will be a large number of people from Mr. Owaisi's camp who will win, and it will be the Samajwadi Party and the BSP that will find themselves on the sidelines. I can tell you this, and Sabah Naqvi will tell us on whatever date the election results will be announced that she saw this coming. And we will have a stirring debate on the Owaisi factor in the betrayal of Muslims. We know what's going to happen because it happened in Bihar, viewers. It's happened. Now, one second. Mr. Bhatia, you need to respond to Ashutosh. Ashutosh.